I've done an incredible amount of work training leaders all over the world, more than 80 countries now, thousands of them. And one of the things that I discovered is that people often enter leadership either for the wrong reason or under a false assumption. And I was once doing the training in a corporate, and there was a newly promoted leader in the room. And after a little while, he put up his hand. He said, he doesn't understand what I'm talking about, because why would we be doing all this work? Why would we be doing this as leaders? Where is this going? And I kind of stopped the class eventually, and I said, tell me more about what your expectations were. How long have you been a leader? And it turned out he'd only just been promoted. And I then asked him this question: what was the reason you wanted to become a leader? And he said, very simple, 3 reasons. Number 1, he wanted the extra status. Number 2, he wanted the extra money. And number 3, he wanted to do less work. And the whole group just erupted in laughter, because everybody knows that as you climb the corporate ladder, you have greater and greater expectations on you, and there is no sort of privilege of, well, you now sit back and everybody else does the work. And he was shocked. He couldn't believe that people were saying this. So I asked a quick poll and I said, how many of you have enough time in the day to do what you need to do? And nobody raises their hands. And how many of you feel overwhelmed by how much you have to do as a leader? And everybody raised their hands, and he was in a state of shock. So I want to explore with you a little bit about what is leadership, what is conscious leadership, what is leadership really all about? And let's explore that a little bit more. So rather than leadership being a privilege or a way of being lazy in a way, let's explore what it really is. And we have this wonderful thing about leadership is not about executive position or title. And that, I think, has inspired a lot of people to think, oh, well, I'm just going to be the boss, and then I've got this position, I can tell people what to do. And the real thing is, when we get into conscious leadership, we find that there's a lot more to it. So let's have a look at our quote for this week. And it comes from Robin S. Sharma. And Robin Sharma said the following: leadership is not about executive position or title. It's about connection and influence. At its highest, leadership is all about adding value to the world and blessing lives through the work that you do. Now that's very, very interesting. So our theme this month has been connection. In fact, this is our last week of the connection videos as we've gone through the month of May 2022, doing all of these videos around connection at various levels. And what we're seeing is that if we really want to influence, really want to make a difference in the world, we need to connect with people and add value. And so it's about connection, it's about influence. And the greatest influence comes through our relationships. Now, we know we get different kinds of power. We get position power, we get sort of charisma kind of power, we get knowledge power, we get task power, we get relationship power, where our power comes from relationships. And all of them are valid. None of them are invalid. But what I found is that when we rely on the position, that's when our leadership often fails. It's good to have it, but when we rely on it primarily, we fail as leaders. And so the real thing we want to get to is connection power, where we are connecting with our people, and that gives us power. We are listening to our people, that gives us power. We're asking great questions of our people, and that gives us power. And all of that comes around this thing of connecting. And that's where your power lies as a leader. That's where my power lies as a leader. So, what about you? Have you got a story, an example where position power failed you, or where connection power boosted your success as a leader? Certainly that's been my experience.